Let me explain it to you this way.
It started out with regime change and ending the nuclear program.
There was never regime change.
Yes, it was. He said today we already did a regime change because you got Ayatollah Jr.
Ayatollah. Stop You're hyperventilating. Relax. Let me explain the war to you.
If you're going to bring up John Brennan as your source, this man is a known prevaricator, a liar.
I'm saying, don't use John Brennan as the example.
You did.
Greg Gutfeld absolutely roasts Jessica Tarlov on The Five over her analysis of Iran. Just watch.
This is kind of similar. You know how I am about, like, you throw around Nazi, people tune you out, and then you can't make your point. And usually you can find with most people that live within the spectrum of, like, the 80% in the middle, they have generally the same views about things if you make a good case. Or you can at least get to a place where you can see where the other side is coming from. So I certainly wouldn't use that kind of language. Donald Trump has not, ordered hundreds of thousands of people to be killed. And
yet.
That's tomorrow's episode, and I will be back. But it is important that people are allowed to, and that their questions about what's going on are even welcomed. That is healthy. And, Greg, you said how he's been conducting this war has been great. There are a number of people who are not out there making those kinds of statements, like even from John Brennan, who are raising real questions.
John Brennan is a fraud.
Okay.
If you're going to bring up John Brennan as your source, this man is a known prevaricator, a liar.
I'm saying, don't use John Brennan as the example.
You did.
Because he was in the montage.
So that's not my fault.
What is happening? Just like... Listen, Donald Trump himself and Pete Hegseth and top officials with the administration have told us completely backwards explanations for this multiple times. We have heard it will be a few days. Actually, it will take months. No boots on the ground. Also, maybe a draft, and we're sending thousands of troops to the region.
Did you hear about a draft?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Well, Caroline, you were on vacation. I'm glad you got some color.
I wasn't dodging the draft.
Not like our president. We already won. Also, give us $200 billion. We fight with bombs. Also, let's give $14 billion in oil sanctions relief. We're going to end the regime. They'll never get a nuke. Just kidding. Those aren't our goals anymore. There are serious developments in the fact that Israel and the Saudis want us to keep going, perhaps past the point that the administration wants to keep going. Then you have the question of what happens in a year, 2 years. Let's say that we get out in the next few weeks, which maybe that is the plan. Can they rebuild these facilities? Not just talking about the nuclear parts. I'm talking about the drone manufacturing and the ballistic missile manufacturing, which has been actually to this point our greatest issue. Those are all very real and valid questions rooted in things that Donald Trump is saying himself. He already said again today, we already won. Why are we even talking about this?
Oh, can I just jump in for a second?
Please, whatever.
I mean, Jessica asked a question that a 5-year-old would ask. When is this thing going to be over?
Stop it.
Okay, that's not a serious contribution to the discussion about a war, Jessica, okay?
Oh.
We knew what was the objective, and we're going about it methodically. If you don't know what the goal is, you weren't listening. Let me explain it to you this way.
It started out with regime change and ending the nuclear program.
There was never regime change.
Yes, it was. He said today we already did a regime change because you got Ayatollah Jr.
Stop. You're hyperventilating. Relax. Let me explain the war to you. First off, why would Donald Trump lie about talking?
Certain political figures and mainstream media personalities were on national TV, claiming that Donald Trump was clearly lying about negotiating with Iran. They were acting like the idea was completely made up, only to find out a few hours later that they were the ones lying, because it turns out those talks actually were happening.
And some Democrats, including Barack Obama's former CIA director, appear to be more inclined to believe Iran over the president.
I tend to believe Iran more than I do Donald Trump.
Do you believe the Iranian officials over the President of the United States?
And yes, we know he's lying when he says that the Iranians are talking with us.
We've heard the president say things that are proved to be completely untrue in the past, so we really don't know what to believe.
Is it good that their military infrastructure is being degraded to the degree that it is? Yes or no?
You can't, because it's a premature question.
And this CNN commentator says she's unsure on whether the president is any better than the world's biggest sponsor of terrorism.
The leaders of the Iranian regime, they lie. I think the problem is we don't know if our president is also telling the truth. And so it feels like there are two bad actors in this case, and I am confused. I really don't know. I want my president to be honest. Two bad actors don't have to be the exact same type of bad actors. One is a little bad, one is a little worse.
Is it me, or does it seem like the media has a history of getting major stories wrong? Remember the Hunter Biden laptop being dismissed as Russian disinformation, or the whole Russia collusion narrative in general? And we couldn't even get reports about the fraud in Minnesota, except for that one time when they demonized the kid who uncovered it. So in my opinion, their credibility is pretty much trash.
Well, I mean, at least she's being honest in her stupidity. I think that makes her slightly better than most people on CNN. But do you want a compliment, an amazing compliment? It's amazing that the media and Democrats consider Trump the first president ever who has to wrap up a war in 3 weeks, or it's a failure. Why? It's a tribute to him, because the expectations are so high that he usually does things so big and so phenomenally. It's like, oh, wait, I thought this was going to be done on day one. And it's like everything he has done has been pretty much impeccable. You don't have to agree with the war, but the way he's conducting the war is pretty good. It's actually great. You can disagree with why, but the process is pretty good. But it makes me think, when I listen to the trust question, could we ever have relied on the media during any war? I mean, what do we really know if what we're experiencing now and in the last 10 years, could we have ever relied on them? If you look at the way, even in recent times, the way the media covered the presidency, the border, crime, COVID, should we believe them now? When they exhibit the worst judgment I think I've ever seen. These are the people who claim to trust Iran, also believed Justice Smollett and the Duke Lacrosse stripper. They bought the Gaza genocide hoaxes, every time a hospital was bombed, they believed. They believed in Russian collusion. They believed George Floyd was a saint. I don't think they have any credibility to ask or question trust. They have gaslit a country for so long, especially over Biden, which as you can tell, I will never forget. So I can't take them on their word about anything, nor should Trump, nor should anybody. Trump and the media are mirror images of themselves. Trump is operating on our best intentions. We hope that he's doing the right thing. The media is operating on our worst intentions. We believe they do not have our best intentions in mind. They want us to suffer. They want America to suffer, because the fact is, when America does well, they look really stupid.
Yeah, they do. And isn't it interesting how quickly the narrative changes? Like how mainstream media originally pushed the claim that there was no communication happening between the U.S. and Iran, even though President Trump said negotiations were already underway. It's like they couldn't fathom it. Or maybe they didn't want there to be negotiations between the U.S. and Iran because they want Trump to fail so bad. But CNN was forced to retract their claims after an Iranian source confirmed the talks. So CNN had to update their story and admit that there actually has been contact with Washington.
The Situation Room, we're now learning from a senior Iranian source that there has been an outreach between the U.S. and Iran. The source tells CNN that this was initiated by Washington. With us now, CNN military analyst, retired U.S. Air Force Colonel Cedric Leighton, and CNN global affairs analyst Kim Dozier. Kim, what do you make of this development?
The U.S. just blinked. I mean, we already saw it in the series of changing tweets or truths from President Trump. One day he's like, the war's about to end. The next day, we're going to obliterate your energy facilities. And then the next day, we think there are talks.
Online commentators mocked the network, with this person saying, if these dopes ever just waited for the facts before opening their mouths, they wouldn't have to retract so many claims. And this person agrees, saying amazing that CNN believes Iran before the president of the US.
Why did it take confirmation from Iran for CNN to acknowledge what Trump already said? And did you hear that last commentator? She just couldn't accept the fact that they were negotiating and had to find a way to still bash Trump. So she alluded that he caved. You really can't make this stuff up. But one thing is for sure, you can consistently trust mainstream media, no matter what the actual facts are, to somehow twist the narrative to oppose Donald Trump. We've watched this play out over and over and over again ever since he decided to run for president in 2016. No matter the situation, the headlines, the framing, and the outrage always point to Trump bad. Because just think about it. The minute he got into politics, Trump and his family have been under a level of scrutiny and hostility that's never been seen before. From the investigations, the nonstop media attacks, the personal insults, not to mention the numerous attacks on his life. So when they start accusing him of lying, it's really hard not to laugh, especially coming from them, the same people who spent years pushing narratives that later always seem to fall apart. The nerve of them to question his credibility when they have none. At least that's how I see it. Why don't you share your thoughts on this in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.